So the culture sector has vowed to make the UK a market leader in online gambling, despite the growth problem of gambling addiction, has been met with a pretty mixed response. She says that signing up to the UK's proposed code of conduct would protect players, but anti-gambling charities disagree. They say the 1 million people who regularly place bets online in the UK and become addicted to gambling are being failed by the industry. I should say that's not 1 million people who become addicted, just a small percentage of course do, but it is a problem. Joining me now from our central London studios, the chair of the Responsibility in Gaming Trust, the Conservative MP John Greenway, and Peter Marcus from InterCaisno, one of the oldest, longest running of all the online gambling companies. Very good evening to you both. Mr. Greenway, is the gaming industry failing those who get into trouble?
Well, at the moment, the online industry, with one notable exception, is not contributing to my trust and therefore not helping us to fund the treatment of people who get a gambling problem, and more important even than that, fund public awareness and education programs, because I think it is possible to regulate online gambling effectively, and you won't protect consumers unless you do so. But we need to have from the government now the technical standards as to how that will operate. Those standards will then be enforced as well with other companies in offshore sites who operate in this country, so that we can educate the public so they don't have a problem, and that they go online and gamble for fun without a financial tragedy.
You say it's a £50 billion business, and you're looking for 3 million to fund addiction programs, and you can't find that?
We set ourselves a target when I took over as chairman in May of £3 million to be raised this year, and we have about 2.6, 2.7 million of that already committed. I am looking to the remote operators to fund the balance. We have until the end of March, that's when our year ends. I'm confident that we will get this money, because I think that what today has been about with this summit, it's been about trying to demonstrate that the responsible operators want to continue their business, and if they want to do that, they've got to demonstrate that they really have corporate responsibility. Whether they're regulated here or not, consumers from this country are gambling on online sites.
Come on then, Peter Marcus, are you going to show, are you in the industry willing to show greater responsibility? Well, help the people who get into trouble?
I'm pleased to be that exception. We did indeed pledge money to the trust, and we paid money to that trust, and if the trust want more money, we're very happy to give more money. I think it's a very important thing. I think the responsibility from the industry is to give money to groups like GamCare to protect those people, and that very small minority of people who do have issues and problems with gaming. The vast majority of our customers have fun, enjoy themselves, and act responsibly. For that very small percentage, we have an absolute responsibility to assist groups like GamCare.
But Peter Marcus, I don't see when people are gambling online, you can't really know who on earth they are or what problems they're getting into, can you?
Well, I think that's untrue, actually. I'd actually argue the other way around, that in a land-based casino environment, or particularly a bookie shop, you don't know who they are because they're playing in cash and they don't have to give you their identity. When people sign up with our site, they absolutely have to give their details. They have to give us either their credit card or another form of payment. We know exactly who they are, and we can then do a number of checks to make sure that they've got the money they can spend. We then check every single day, and we have systems to watch exactly how much they're spending, and if we believe they're spending outside their means, we'll stop them. This week alone, I've stopped a customer who I believe was spending outside their means, and I've turned them off from our casino.
John Greenway, is it enough? Do you feel it's a responsible and well-regulated business, or is a lot more needed?
Oh, a lot more is needed in terms of regulation, but what Peter has said is absolutely right, that if sites operate responsibly, they can stop people getting into difficulty financially. And the conundrum for politicians, because I'm a politician as well as chairing this trust, is do you prohibit all of this activity and then drive it underground where you can't protect consumers, or are you upfront about it and say, look, this is going to happen, let us have standards which mean that we can prevent people losing money that they can't afford to lose, and also educate people about how to gamble on these sites for fun. Look, most of us who have a bet, I bet on horse races when I go racing. I do it within my means. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. But what you have have to do is recognise for most people it's not a problem, but for those who do have a problem, we genuinely have got to help them. We're funding GamCare about £1.6 million this year, and that includes putting up and running an online site for a helpline and a chat room so that people can get advice and help. I want to prevent people getting a gambling problem, and I need to educate them through public awareness how to gamble. I need to know what the regulatory standards are if we're going to do that.
Let's bring in Peter Marcus. I mean, Tessa Jowell seems to want to make this the world centre of online gaming. I mean, is that really a great idea? I know it's going to fill your pockets, but is it going to help people if there's boom time here? How are you going to still better regulate it and keep a fatherly eye on those who might stray off the straight and narrow in gambling?
I think that's a fantastic idea. Let's have a look at the difference between what Tessa Jowell is suggesting and what America did 2 weeks ago. The United States have prohibited online gaming. They've made it illegal. Now, making online gaming illegal is exactly the same as they did in the 1920s with alcohol. As Tessa Jowell this morning said, what happened with alcohol is that law-abiding citizens went off and dealt with bootleggers. And already we're seeing today, right now, a number of customers going to the equivalent of bootleggers in the online gaming industry. We turned off over 1 million customers at InterCaisno from the United States the moment the law went through. Those players haven't stopped playing. They're playing with sites that haven't got corporate responsibility and that can't be controlled. What Tessa Jowell is doing is absolutely the right thing. We have to work in a responsible, controlled way to allow people who enjoy gaming to enjoy it, and people who have problems, and a very small percentage of people that have an issue and a problem with gaming, to be educated and indeed to have attention.
Gentlemen, no more bets. Thank you very much indeed. Peter Marcus, John Greenway, thank you both.
Thank you.